Hello, 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 and welcome to another edition of the Brian Colletto Show on my YouTube channel. And should this ever be repurposed for other platforms, wherever you may listen to live videos slash podcasts. So, friends, I have been away from doing these live videos for a few weeks now for various reasons. But before I get to any of that, people come to these to hear about autism. So I'm going to talk about that first. And I'm specifically going to talk about a an experience that I had 2 weeks ago that kind of signaled autism challenge for me. So about 2 weeks ago, you may have seen a video of mine where I talked about or asked the question, do your kids on the autism spectrum struggle to think things through? The reason I asked that is because I sometimes have those troubles as well. And I know that some people say, well, other people that are not on the spectrum have trouble thinking things through. And that's true. But it especially presents a challenge for those on the spectrum, especially those that seem like they can be taken advantage of because of nice nature, which I'm sure my parents would say is why they worry about me. And this stemmed from a a clubhouse meetup that I did not get to go to. The decision was left up to me, but I ultimately decided not to go. I could not see myself getting in a car with people I'm just meeting in person for the first time and going to a bar an hour away. Um, so that's why I didn't do that. And I didn't want to drive there either because of the little bit that I know about that area in New Jersey, specifically Hoboken. So it was painful. There were tears shed on my end, but I did eventually understand. And it was hard to take in because I always try to prepare for online or virtual, as I call it, to real life. And in this instance, I sort of failed. I thought I had thought everything through, but I didn't. And while it was all of a sudden, and I could have done better with saying something to my parents sooner, I also think that patience is of key. So that's why I advocate for people to be as patient as possible, whether your parents dealing with someone on the spectrum or you just happen to be someone who knows somebody on the spectrum, whether it's a friend or student, whatever you want to call it or should call it. That's my biggest thing is patience for the person on the spectrum. So that explains why I didn't do my show 2 weeks ago because I wasn't really in a position to really get into depth about that at that moment. I still had to sit with my feelings a bit, which is another thing for those on the spectrum as well. Sometimes they need extra time to sit with their feelings before voicing it, if they can voice it, of course, because not everybody on the spectrum can. Now, as for the other weeks that I have recently missed with doing the show, I skipped 3 weeks ago because of the eclipse, and people weren't going to tune in for something like this when the eclipse was taking over social media. And I skipped last week because I was dealing with um, some allergies that were inhibiting my breathing a bit. But I'm all better now, and hopefully it stays that way. Um, so that's what I've got on that front. I have continued to go to my share of activities throughout the month, which included attending a local chamber's 60th anniversary celebration, also included visiting um, an, a place called Eden Autism. Well, one of their facilities. They have more than one facility in Mercer County in New Jersey. And that was fun. That was a networking event as well. I got to um, last Wednesday go to a podcasting meetup and learn about virtual assistants and AI, although I'm not currently in a position to really utilize either. And I would prefer to show my real self anyway. So this is what you've got. And I also went to a networking last Thursday, which was kind of a last minute choice to go specifically to that group because there was another multi-chamber thing that was supposed to take place that same night that was postponed to the summer that I would have gone to. It was closer and would have really potentially benefited my regular job. But it is what it is with that. Otherwise, I am really pleased with the growth I've had over the last few weeks. I'm very blessed and grateful for over 400 subscribers on my YouTube channel, and including the video where that was referenced, the one about the Clubhouse meetup I didn't go to, that one really took off. I'm really pleased with how that video took off. Hope I'm making sense here. And I am just pleased with how the other videos are doing as well, even if they're not doing as great, but I'm getting more traction on here. And while I don't see anybody watching this live, I will appreciate anyone who comes and views this later on if I get any views on it. I will continue to do the YouTube shorts though. I really enjoy the videos I create on Instagram that I post to other platforms, including here. And I am working also on advertising a little bit more when I'm going to be doing these lives. That is something I want to do in order to have an audience show up while I'm doing this live. And that's can be a challenge for those on the spectrum, and for some it's not. Some are very precise and can say, this is when I'm going to be on. and some can get it out a few times, a few different platforms, but it's a weakness of mine. But I'm working on it. So I want to thank all of you who view this video, whether you've listened to a few seconds, a minute, the entire thing. I appreciate it. And hopefully, I will be back with another episode next week. And until then, I send you all love, light, blessings, and peace.